Yeah, I totally didn't forget about opening up a program and unmuting my microphone. I totally didn't do that. Totally didn't do that. But hello, chat. Well, hello, and welcome to another Friday. It's the first of the month. It's the first of July, and the start of my long weekend. It's gonna be weird. I'm going to be honest, I am not entirely sure I'm ready for this weekend. So this will be a very interesting turn of events, I should say. But yeah, in terms of announcements I got for tonight, let's make this short and quick because we got a lot of spells to get through. If I remember correctly, I'm good. I'm not basing this off the app. Actually, I'm basing this off of the app that I use. So I have about 85-ish spells to go through. I believe that should actually no. I think I'm more closer to 90. So that should be about 2 hours, give or take. So I hope y'all ready to learn. As for let's go back to okay. As for like other announcements and whatnot, actually, I'm gonna turn my microphone down a little bit more. I noticed that last night I was very loud, a little louder than normal. I'm trying a different way where I'm not like I'm still near my microphone, but I'm not like up in its face about it and everything. Like it's there, but I don't have to be right in front of it or anything. I think that's kind of my problem with previous stuff is that I'm always like there in front of it. Now I don't have to be because the just how I have my audio set up. So we're just gonna go with that. But yeah. Other announcements. Besides what I've been saying like the last couple of days, the next 2 weeks are gonna be kind of weird because I probably will be streaming like 1 or 2 days those weeks, and then probably not a whole lot after that because next week is a family trip where I got to go visit the other side of my family for a little bit that I don't get to see. And then the week after that, me and my roommate are going to go to an anime convention and we're gonna have some fun with that. I probably shouldn't have said that, but well, probably shouldn't have said the anime part. But anyway, yeah. Okay, he's having a phone conversation with himself, with one of his buddies. That was really weird for a second there. But anyways, and then as for like tomorrow, so how tomorrow's gonna work out. Tomorrow we're gonna do Dragon Age. I don't quite know how much more we have left in Dragon Age. I do want to finish a couple of side quests and whatnot, and then pray I manage to level up. Actually, I want to pray that I manage to level up Alistair 2 more levels, so that way he can wear the armor we got from the DLC mission. Am I going to play the DLC though? I think that's going to be the question. I think probably not. I kind of want to move on to another game after Dragon Age, but I don't know what game after Dragon Age. But speaking of games, if you head over onto my Twitter, I do have a poll going on like what game's going to be next for Thursdays when I get back. I wish it could be for 2 weeks though, then everyone could have a chance to kind of just look at it. So after tomorrow, that will be my pinned tweet, so y'all can find it relatively easily and all that fun stuff. Hey, everything with a no, I don't have transition to the browser yet. How did I not? How did I not make a thing for the browser? Although at this point, I kind of just need to make. It's more or less just copy and pasting it and making it instead of. Do I have anything set on there? I guess I do have some things set up on there. I have a lot of things set up on there. We'll figure it out. We'll just do a normal like scuff transition, and then when I do another stream of that, we'll just do that. So here we go, scuff and oh, son of why is it like this? Why is that there? Oh wait, no, I know why that's there because I kind of like that, but I don't understand why. Why don't I just have like a normal video thing? Hold on. Where is it? Oh, I don't have a text screen for this. I am so underprepared for this. Let me just put myself down a bit. So that way, oh wait, no, I am in front of the chat box. But my alerts are where they're supposed to be. That. Yep, they shut down. Do that. Okay, good. Should we do the same thing for the sound alerts just to be on the safe side? Yes, probably should do that just to be on the safe side as well. All right, give me one quick second. I gotta do two things. One's a BRB thing. So you are going to see how this all comes together. Major scuff, major scuff, major scuff, major scuff. Ugh. No, don't do that. Yep, do that. Transform. Not that one. Transform. Stretch the screen. Okay, turning off for a second there. This next one's going to be on the screen for a little bit until I get this taken care of. All right, tech issues. I love how that one's just automatically there. That's good. All right, and then starts the screen. All right, tech issue time. And then just make sure that that's below sound alerts. Same thing for the BRB. Sound alerts while I grab this source that's was supposed to be there already, but I don't know why it decided it wanted to do it that way. Seems kind of sus. All right, where? Oh, is this the card test thing? Is this the one that I used that has like just the background of the video? Yes, this is the background of the video. This is the one I want. I don't know why I grabbed start. Hold on, actually, let me remove the start one. Yes, remove that one. We're gonna make this one a browser source. Bear with me for a little bit second, gang. Yeah, we're gonna call this background browser. Hey, bloop. 1922 and and then shut down at visible, refresh when active, hit OK. Do I not do that for these? Oh wait, no, I only do that to sound alerts. That's right. Invalid URL. Oh, right. Let me copy actually a better one. Let's do that then. Okay. That's better. And then just put it. And then let me just make because I have these two I can probably do because this is probably for that. So let me put that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there. Copy this one, paste this one. So I'm going to browser. Oh, that sound alerts. Quick BRB. Copy, paste. Browser, BRB. And then do the exact same thing on this one. Nope, title of browser, tech issues, copy, paste. Codex, browser, tech issues. And then when I press this button, it turns that off to the opera. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let me just make a backup of this real quick because Whenever you do Stream Deck stuff, chat, whenever you do Stream Deck stuff, always make a backup when you're done. Because you never know if it's going to come in handy. All right. And then that's fine. Beacon, browser source. No, not that one. We want. Oh, right. I guess that will kind of be hard to get to that. So we're going to put it. And this will give me. I guess I want to go with that one. What? Ah, here we go. I want to go with this one. Oh, right. I don't think I've set this correctly. Eh. Oh, no. I'm clicking on the wrong one. That's why. Browser source. Eh. Why are you clicking on the wrong thing? Click on this one. There we go. I think that'll work. I will zoom out just a little bit. Actually, hold on. Let me make this more of a stretch the screen. There we go. Oh yeah, did I test this? I don't think I tested this correctly. We're doing a lot of things live, chat, and I apologize for that. Hey browser, if I move you here, we should be fine. Okay, I'm gonna lock you here for now. I think this is fine. If not, I'll figure it out later. And then that's the chat box, which is just gonna be where you guys can chat. All right. Hui, that took a lot longer than that needed to, and that was more unnecessary than I needed to. But hey, at least we figured it all out. So hooray for that. At least we got it figured out. I'm not entirely sure why it took me that long to. I guess probably because I never tested this. I never tested this, so there's that. I never tested this. Oh wait, I have sound alerts. Did I control the sound alert tab through here, or did I control it through something else? I don't remember. I don't think I did that. That's really weird. Oh no, that's not sound alerts. That's sound alerts. We're gonna unclick that. I think I don't have that set. All right. Enough talk. Enough. Enough playing around with all this stuff. Playing around with all the technical glitches. Let's rate some spells and get on with it. Battery should be fully charged by now, so I should be okay to, well, mostly fully charged, so I should be okay to do this. All right, let me unplug this. All right, I need to do that. I said undo that, and then that will allow me to do this, to do that, to do. All right. For those of you who don't know, I read the spell, what it does, the name of the spell, what it does, and what I think it goes to. Actually, hold on, let me zoom in a little bit more. It's kind of hard for y'all to see the names, what we're reading. I think that'll. Yep, that looks pretty good. Let me check the browser source on Twitch real quick to make sure that that's perfectly good where that's supposed to be. All right, perfect. Y'all can read that just perfectly fine, and that's what I care about. All right. Also, prepare for me to butcher a lot of names because I'm not great at this. Let's see. The first spell for level 2. Ganazada's Scorcher, which I believe is just a Scorcher thing. All right. A line of roaring flame 30 feet long and 5 feet wide emanates from you in a direction you choose. A creature in line must make a dexterity saving throw. Takes 3d8 fire damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. Ooh, we're getting into these types of spells where they're actually good to use and they actually do damage, which is always a good thing. You cast as a third slot or higher. Damage increases by 1d8 for each level above second. And our first situational spell, because that's more me. I say situational because again, chances are whoever you cast it on is going to roll above your dexterity. Since this is a level 2 spell, you're probably getting that about level 3, I think. I think for most spellcasters, you get your second level slots at level 3. I could be wrong. I'm probably basing this off more cleric. You know what? Let me double check this real quick. We're doing a quick thing. Let's open this. Will open it. I don't want this to be seen right now, so we're gonna do that. uh, oh, that's D dollar D&D 5e when spellcasters get access to level 2 spells. 5-year casting rules. Da, 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 da. That doesn't really help me. Decline that. Leveled spells. Types of spellcasters. Thank you for telling me that. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know about this. I know about prepared spells. I know about components that people really don't use a whole lot depending on the game because it could slow the game down. Okay, wait. Concentration. I know about concentration. I know about duration of the spells. I know about catching ritual spells. I'm more inclined to know when they get third level slots. It doesn't tell me. Yeah, I'll just go with level 3. I think that's probably just a good start for level 3. That's a good starting point. Because I think, or do you get a level 2? Hold on. I'll do a quick character creation on this D&D character app I have. I think. Wait, hold on. Don't I still have a level 2 sword? Oh, yeah, I should have a level 2 warlock somewhere in here. Because there's a level 3 cleric. Icky. Nope. Okay, so it would be level 3 then. Yeah, level 3 probably. Yes, level 3 then. So level 3, where you get second level spells, because second level you're still dealing with actually you get more spell slots. Unless you're a warlock, then you're kind of screwed on that point. Aid. Your spell bolsters your allies with toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target maximum and current hit points increased by 5 for the duration. I I uh, I must say this is an okay spell, if only for the fact that at higher levels this spell doesn't really do a whole lot. So it's kind of just an okay spell. Mm. Yeah, it's kind of an okay spell. I mean, it could probably be used at later levels, so you can give like, because I can give them 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can look up to level 9, so that would be like, you can pretty much give them 45 max, 5 extra hit points. Yeah, 45 extra hit points on and increase your maximum by 45 hit points. So maybe that'd work. Maybe I feel maybe that would work. Maybe that wouldn't work. In all honesty, that could be a little different. But for the most part, in terms of temporary spells, I feel like there were plenty of classes that are going to give you more capabilities than that. Like a Twilight Cleric can pretty much take care of that because, well, you get 5 for the duration of the spell. Oh, oh, this is a known spell for peace clerics. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm talking to myself. Alter self. You assume a different form when you cast a spell. Choose one of the following options. The effect lasts during the duration of the spell. When the spell lasts, you can end one option as an action to gain the benefits of a different one. You get an aquatic adaptation, you get to change your appearance, and you get to grow natural weapons. Ooh. But would it be worth it's very this has more role play capabilities. This definitely has more roleplay capabilities than it does anything else. Even though the natural weapons is that druid spell? Artificer fire rogues. Okay, it's not I feel like this would be a druid spell almost. Wait, no, but druids can probably end up just wild shaping into getting water. Anyways, actually, no, they can just wild shape into a lot of things, so they don't really need this spell. So, yourself, animal messenger. By means of this spell, you can use an animal to deliver a message. Choose any beast within range, such as a squirrel, a Blu-ray, or a bird. You specify location which you must have visited. And since it is worded like this, it is a must. You must visit the location you're going to send this thing to. And reception and recipient who matches a general description, such as a man, woman dressed in a uniform of the town guard, or a redhead dwarf wearing a pointed hat. You must also speak a message up to 25 words. The target beast travels up to the duration of the spell. Total special location covering 50 miles per 24 hours for a flying messenger, or 25 for other animals. When the message arrives, it delivers the message to the creature that you described, replicating your voice. The message speaks only to a creature matching the description you give. If a messenger doesn't reach its destination before the spell ends, the message will be lost and the beast makes its way back to where you cast the spell. How? 24 hours. Okay, so interesting. Uh Roleplay again, because unless like it's a way to distract. Actually, no, it's still roleplay because it's not really much. It's not a combat spell, really. And unless, although actually, it might be a combat spell if you think about it. If you want to actually put it to something good. Actually, yeah, if you want to do something with it, it can probably, if you want to do something crazy with it, it probably could be a combat spell. But for now, it's going to be a roleplay spell for me. Arcane Lock. You touch one door, you touch a closed door, window, gate, chest, or other entryway, and it becomes locked for the duration. You and the creatures you designate when you cast a spell can open the object normally. You also set a password to that. When spoken with 5 feet of the object, suppress the spell for 1 minute. Otherwise, it's impassable until it's broken or the spell is dispelled or suppressed. Cast a knock on the object, suppress the arcane lock for 10 minutes. While affected by this spell, the object is no more difficult to break or force open. The DC to break it or pick any of the locks is increased by 10. Holy shit. That's a pretty good thing. Alright, arcane lock. Roleplay. I feel like this is a good thing if you want to keep like your stuff locked up so that way you're not like worried. I'm really not that tired. You know, I'm gonna go grab a thing of caffeine real quick and be this one. Boop. Be-doop. All right. But yeah, based on the classes that can learn this spell, this is something that's definitely one of those roleplay spells that will keep your stuff safe if you decided to do that. And increasing it by 10 is pretty good unless your DM rolls a natural 20. At that point, that's going to be really hard to work with. Agra. Wait, clerics have a nods class? Interesting. By casting gem lead skills or rolling dragon bones or completing ordnance cards. Oh, you receive an omen from an otherwise worldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses the following possible omens. Well for good results, woe for bad, well and woe for both good and bad results, nothing for results that aren't especially good or bad. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might happen that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or loss or gain of a companion. If you cast a spell two or more times before the completion of your next long rest, this is a there is a cumulative 25% chance for each casting after the first that you get a random reading. The DM makes this roll in secret. Ooh, this is again, this is a roleplay spell. This is definitely a roleplay spell. It definitely has a lot of roleplay elements there. You basically can ask certain things about certain. Yeah, you can basically ask about certain things. Ooh, no, I'm not. I thought about that. I thought about casting that, but I'm like, it's not gonna work because I don't think that's gonna work in my game currently. But hey, at least it's something to think about. In the long run, we could figure that out later. Uh, bark skin. You touch a willing creature until the spell ends. The target's skin has a rough bark-like appearance, and the AC can't be less than 16, regardless of what armor it is wearing. Oh yeah, it's a cleric nature. Hmm. I could. I really want to build a cleric of nature now for a one shot. Well, I'll see how long my other character lasts, and then I'll figure that out from there. Uh, but again, it's a semi okay. Yeah, if it's only for Druid Ranger, okay, like it is an okay spell. It is an okay spell only for the fact I feel like again, level 2, you're just reached level 3, you haven't really figured out what your armor's gonna be like when you get to that point, and it's gonna be one of those spells that's like, yeah, it makes sense, but it's very one of it's just one of those things. Beast sense. You touch a willing beast for the duration of the spell. You can use your action to see through the beast's eyes, hear what it hears, and continue to do so until you use your action to return to your normal senses. Hmm. This has some roleplay value because, in terms of how I'm thinking about this, in terms of how this spell works, how it's basically worded, basically you could do this. You could use this spell and be able to basically scout out an area. Say if you're using like a creature of the unknown area, a small creature to kind of do some sneaking, get some information, figure out some things. and overall just kind of have a good time figuring that out. Maybe you, yeah, maybe you want to compel a prank. You want to use like a creature. You want to see how it works, and yeah. So a lot of roleplay value here. I don't like how this gives me blindness, deafness. You can blind or deafen a foe. Choose one creature you see within range to make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, the target is either blinded or deafened, your choice for the duration. At the end of its turn, the target makes a Constitution saving throw on a success. The spell ends. Blindness Deafness is very one of those. It's again situational spells. You can either and you get to choose whether you blind the person or you deafen the person. Although most people probably choose blinding because it will give people. It does require. It does really because blinding a creature will cause it to roll with disadvantage if it's trying to attack you, and it can't really see you. And oh yeah, you also get advantage to attack it, so it all kind of works out in the end. Blur. Your body becomes blurred, shifting and weaving. That's all you see for the duration. Any creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and attacker is immune to this effect if it doesn't rely on sight. As with blind sight, or can see through illusions as with true sight. Okay, so this is definitely. Feel like we're getting to the point where we're about to get a lot of okay and meh spells. Yeah, we're probably about to get to the point where we're about to get a lot of meh and okay spells. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of good role play spells, good situations. We're gonna get like less and less like god tier spells, which is completely fine. I'm not expecting it all to really be all that. Plus, I'm learning about some spells that I haven't used in 5th edition. So this is definitely a good learning experience for me, if I'm being honest. All right. After Blur is borrowed knowledge. You draw the knowledge from spirits of the past. Choose one skill you lack proficiency in for the duration you have proficiency. Uh, this is the. It's a meh. It's a mess spell. I mean, granted, it could probably be used for roleplay stuff. It's like it's a really mess spell considering you're only getting you're only getting that for an hour, and you're only gonna get like proficiency in a chosen skill. So it's not really that great of a spell. Branding Smite. The next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack before the spell ends, the weapon gleams with astral radiance as you strike down. The attack deals 2d6 on the damage on the target, which becomes visible if it's invisible. The target sheds. Ooh. Um, this is definitely God tier because A. Oh, it's concentration too. So basically, it's invisible and it can't become visible until the spell ends. Ooh, that's God tier then because you cast it. Well, you have to wait a turn, but it's still pretty good because Branding Smite doesn't say it needs to make a saving throw. You basically just deal the 2 extra damage. Which in my book, pretty good. That's a pretty good spell. That's a very good spell to have. All right, calm emotions. You attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people, each whom you're in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on your point. Choose radius. Let's make a charisma saving throw. A creature can choose to fail the saving throw if it wishes. If the creature fails the saving throw, choose one of the following effects. You suppress any effect that's causing it to be charmed or frightened, provided that its duration is right. Alternatively, you can make the target indifferent about creatures of your choice that is hostile towards. The indifferences end if this target is attacked or harmed by a spell, or if it witnesses any of its friends harm. When the spell ends, the creature becomes hostile again until the DM rules otherwise. Uh, I'm gonna put this one in role play because I feel like you're not gonna really use calm emotions in combat. That's just me, anyways. I feel like you're not gonna really use a whole lot of spells a lot of these spells in combat, and that's completely fine for the most part, anyways. I feel like a good majority of these are gonna be like this. All right, cloud of daggers. You fill the air with spinning daggers in a 5-foot cube. On each side, center on a point you choose within range. A creature takes 47 damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn. Or start to turn their. Oh, 44 slashing. That doesn't do much, but Cloud of Daggers got tier. Because here's the thing, though. If it enters the area or starts its turn there, basically that's saying, okay, so here's how this is worded based on this. So basically, if this is the zone, if this is the zone that starts in, enter it, you get hit. You start there, you get hit. And then if you continue to stay in that zone, it's gonna every time you start your turn there, you're gonna get hit. Which is why a certain level 3 spell is kind of funny, and I can't wait to cast it next time. I really wish I could play D&D the next 2 weeks, but I have a lot of vacation on my continual flame. A flame equivalent in brightness to torch springs up and like touch. The effect ends like a regular flame, but it creatures no heat and doesn't use oxygen. A continual flame can be used to cover or be covered or hidden, but not smothered or quenched. This is an okay spell. For the most part, I don't know. This should be no. We'll put, actually, no, I want to say it's okay, but we'll put this in role play because most of the time, especially once we get to this spell, I will explain my reasoning where this is going soon enough. But yeah, this has a little bit of a good thing, especially like it's so. Actually, no, I'm putting it back in okay because you're basically wasting a level 2 slot, although it's sword, artificer, cleric, fighter, rogue, wizard. But you're wasting a level 2 slot at early levels, though. I'm putting this in the mindset that you were basically picking these spells at like level 3. But like later levels, I'd be okay. It'd be good to be okay to use if you didn't have like a dark vision spell or something. But I feel like for the most part, you're gonna have a dark vision spell, or the large majority of your party is gonna know dark vision or have dark vision like abilities. So it's kind of like, eh. And this reset on me. We just Condon of arrows. You plant 4 pieces of non-magical ammunition, arrows, or bows in the ground within range, and lay magic upon them to protect the area until the spell ends. Whenever a creature other than you comes within 30 feet of the ammunition for the first time, or its turns there, 1 piece of ammunition flies up and strikes up. The creature must succeed dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 piercing damage. The piece of ammunition is then destroyed. The spell ends when no ammunition remains. When the spell you can designate any creature you choose, the spell ignores them. Okay. Situational. I'd say this is a good spell to put down if you have like a good spell to use if you have like so many arrows. This isn't concentration, is it? It is not concentration, so you can cast this spell more than once before a long rest. Be a good spell to kind of just keep creatures away, or you can find dinner if it crawls across the map area. So kind of all works out. Crown of Madness. One human or creature of your choice that you can see within range must succeed a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. While the target is charmed in this way, a twisted crown of jagged iron appears on its head and madness glows in its eyes. The charmed target must use its action before moving on each of its turns to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself. As you mentally choose the creature, the target can act normally on its turn if you choose no other creature, or if none are in reach. On your subsequent turns, you must use your reaction to maintain control over the target, or the spell ends. Also, the target can make a wisdom saving throw at the end of each turn. A success, the spell ends. Okay, situational it goes. Because you can easily decide what this is going to do, or you can basically control something relatively easily. Now, whether or not that's something that could be done easy relatively is all based off of what's going to happen next. I'd say that's a pretty good spot for that. All right, darkness. Magical darkness spreads within a 5 foot pool radius. You choose within range to fill a 15-foot radius sphere from the duration. The darkness spreads around corners. A creature with dark vision can't see through this darkness, and non magical light can illuminate it. If the point you choose is an object then you are holding, or one that isn't being worn or carried, the darkness emanates from that object and moves it. Capably covering the source of action with opaque objects such as a bowl or helm blocks the darkness. If any of these spell areas overlap with an area of light that by a spell can level spell or lower the spell that creates light is dispelled. It's a shame that's not available for, but that's pretty god tier because like you can pretty much get rid of the next thing on our list, which is dark vision. But giving something darkness because a good majority of the monster creatures you may or may not face at level 2 probably won't have dark vision, or they will have dark vision, or I don't know. I don't know what your game's gonna have when you eventually start picking spells. I don't even know if you're gonna pick the spell anyways. It's all a matter of opinion anyways, dark vision. Actually, no, it's a meh spell. I want to know why it's a meh spell? Because almost every single creature has dark vision. It's given out so much to almost every race in 5e. It's ridiculous. Now, back when this spell was first created at the time, there was probably not a whole lot of creatures with the ability to see in the dark, which is fine. But now we have the Twilight Cleric, which has 600 feet of dark vision and can give people dark vision for like an hour. So it's almost kind of like it's an okay spell, but like it's not going to work. I think this is mentioned in the book. Yep, Player's Handbook. Yeah, so back when the Player's Handbook first came out, it probably was an okay spell. Now it's not even that good of a spell. Like it's a meh spell because almost everybody has dark vision. Detect thoughts. That's a large portion of the duration. You hear the thoughts of a certain creature when you cast a spell as your action or in turn to the spell ends. You can force your mind on one creature that you see within 30 feet of you. If the creature chooses has intelligence of 3 or lower, it doesn't speak any language, the creature is unaffected. Yeah, good luck finding a creature that's 3 or lower unless it's a mouse or something. Actually, no, there's definitely a creature that's 3 or lower somewhere in the realm. Whether or not that's a thing I have to worry about is going to be another thing for to worry about. All right, but anyways. You initially learn surface thoughts of the creature. What is in its mind at the moment is an action. You can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper into the mind. If you probe deeper, the target must see a wisdom saving throw. Okay. I would say before actually, I'm not gonna. Before I make my verdict, I am going to say it is probably more of a roleplay spell. But it's also situational because it could go to something else. But for now, it's going to roleplay. Dragon's Breath. Oh, we made it to Oh wait, where are you there? Why am I saying it? You touch one willing creature and imbue it with the power to spew magical energy from its mouth, provided it has one. Choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. And the creature can use its action to inhale energy of the chosen type in a 50-foot cone. Each creature must make a dexterity saving throw or do take 3d6 of the damage type on a failed save or half as much on a successful save. Situational because of the constitution. Dexterity saving throw. Because chances are you're not hitting a rogue. You're probably. Actually, I'm really level 2. Wait, no, they don't have uncanny dodge yet. Nor do they have the other uncanny thingy. So it's not that terrible. Hmm. In any case, back to what I was doing. Dragon's Birth, they're going to Dust Devil. Choose an unoccupied 5-foot cone area. See ranged elements of force that resembles a dust devil appears in the cube and lasts for the spell duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the dust devil must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, take 1d8 bludgeoning damage and be pushed away 10 feet. On a successful save, they take half and aren't pushed. As a bonus action, you can move the dust devil up to 30 feet in any direction. The dust devil moves over sand, loose dirt, or to like gravel, like sucks up the material and forms a 10-foot radius cloud and debris around itself until this next turn. The cloud heavily obscures its area. Okay. Situational. It's very situational, I feel like. That's definitely a spell that you would use mainly just to do some minor crowd control and keep people away from you. Well, this is for druids, fighters, rogues, and sorcerers. Yeah, that kind of works. In terms of a fighting spell, I'd say that's probably a very good situational spell. I might go to bed early tonight. Like I've been tired most of the day, but I'm gonna push through. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. We are not gonna give up. We just started. We are not giving up. Earthbind. Choose one creature you see within range. Yellow strips of magical energy loop around a creature. Target's mate. Saving throw, a strength saving throw, or its flying speed if any is reduced to 0 for the spell duration. Airborne creature. Effective by this spell distance 60 feet per round until it reaches the ground or the spell ends. It's already 300 feet. Concentration's up to a minute. But it still would require a strength saving throw, which most creatures are probably very strong in strength, so it is an okay spell. And we still got a long one to go. I think we're about halfway though. I feel like yeah, we're definitely halfway or something. All right. Enhance ability. Use a creature and bestow it with magical enhancement. Choose one of the following effects: bears endurance, gets constitution stacks, can use temporary hit points. Bull strength has advantage on strength throws and carry doubled. Carrying capacity is doubled. Target's adventure. Cat's grace advantage on dexterity checks. Doesn't take any damage from falling 20 feet or less. If it isn't incapacitated, Eagle Splendor, the target has advantage on charisma checks. Fox Cunning, the target must has advantage. Oh no, Fox Cunning, the advantage on intelligence checks. Owl's Wisdom, Wisdom. This is definitely a roleplay spell. Yeah, this is definitely a roleplay spell. I believe this is what my sorcerer or ex sorcerer in my group used to use. We used on us to help us survive a bar fight. Oh, drinking contest, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I really am tired. All right. Enlarge, reduce. You choose a creature or an object you see within range to grow larger or smaller for the duration. Choose a creature. Da, 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 da. Must succeed. If your creature's unwilling, must succeed a Constitution saving throw. On success, the spell has no effect. If the target creature, anything it's wearing and carrying, size changes with it, any item drop by an effective creature returns to normal at once. Yeah, obviously enlarge it, you make it bigger. Reduce, you make it smaller. Uh, fuck. Um, Again, I feel like actually no, this should be more situational. Actually, let's move this up. Situational is going to be above roleplay because in this case, because in terms of situational, enlarge reduce can probably help you get out of combat, and then you can go more through that. Not saying that roleplay spells are bad or most that roleplay is bad. Roleplay is very amazing and good. Granted, I'm still getting used to role playing normally, so it's one of those things I just got to figure out and pray I figured out along the way. Other than that, it's a pretty okay spell. Enthrall. That one's gonna be a little bit interesting once things get going. All right. Enthrall. I believe this does. You wave a distracting sign, a string of words, causing the creature of your choice that you see within range. You hear to make a wisdom saving throw. A creature that can't be charmed succeeds automatically. If you and your companions are fighting a creature, it has advantage on the save. On a failed save, the target has disadvantage on wisdom perception checks. Made to perceive any creature other than you until the spell ends or the target can no longer hear you. The spell ends if you are incapacitated or can no longer speak. That's a meh spell. That's really meh to me. I don't really see much of a point in using Enthrall. Although to be fair, it is only for Bard and Warlock. I don't really play either of those two classes, so yeah, that's definitely something to think about before I shoot myself in the foot with that. Anyways, find Steed. I feel like I know how this one does, and I don't even need to do it. Yuck. You summon a spirit that assumes the form of an usually intelligent or strong or loyal steed, creating a long-lasting bond with it. A period in an unoccupied space with range. A period in an unoccupied space with the steed makes only form that you choose is your warhorse or pony, a camel, elk, or mastiff. Your DM might allow other animals to be summoned as steeds. The steed has a statistic chosen form, though it is a celestial, fey, or fiend of your choice instead of its normal type. Additionally, if your steed has intelligence less 5 or less, its intelligence becomes 6 and gains the ability to understand one language of your choice that you speak. You see serve you as a mount in both combat and out. You have an instinctive bond that allows you to fight as a seamless unit. While mounted to your steed, you can make any spell you cast a target only target your steed. You can make any spell you cast at targets only you also cast. Okay, also cast on your steed. When the steed it drops to 0 points, it disappears, leaving behind no physical form. You can also dismiss the steed at any time as an action, causing it to disappear. In any case, casting the spell again summons the same steed restored to its maximum points. While you choose one of the you communicate with it. So you can use more one steed bond at this time. Okay, so this. I mean, for the most part, it actually Find Steed's an okay spell. I feel like I was gonna go, let's go be situational. No, it's just an okay spell. Because I feel like now I don't hear a lot about people actually playing Cavalier. Yeah, is a Cavalier set diff? Yeah, I want to say yes. I want to say yes on the Cavalier part. If only because I think that's correct. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong on that part. I could be wrong on that part. In any case, find traps. You can sense the presence of any trap within range. A trap that the purpose of this spell includes anything that would include. Okay, yeah. The spell was since an area affected by alarm spell, glyph of warding, or a mechanical trap hit, but it would not reveal a natural weakness in the floor or unstable ceiling or hidden sinkhole. Okay. Find traps. Definitely going into the roleplay section. I feel like that's definitely a good spot for it. If only because, like, for the most part, unless you have a barbarian on your team that can basically roll like the heavens and not get destroyed by like anything, then yeah, it's gonna be a little bit better to do that way. Use find traps to do it that way, unless you have a barbarian. Then you can set the barbarian to trap other traps. You invoke a fire blade in your hands. The blade's the same size or shape as scimitar, blast, and durations. If you let go of the blade, it disappears. But you can invoke another blade. You can use your action to make a melee spell attack with the Fury Blade. On a hit, targets 3d6. The flaming blade sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for additional 10 feet. Okay. I feel like most of this is the only thing you're really sacrificing is a spell slot in this, and then other than that, it's concentration spells. No, it is a concentration spell, so you are gonna that's actually god tier. I like that. Flaming sphere, a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears in an occupied space of your choice. Within range and lasts during duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the spear must take a saving throw. The creature takes 2d6 fire damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. As a bonus action, you can move the sphere up 30 feet and you can ram the sphere into a creature, and the creature must make a saving throw against the sphere's damage. The sphere stops moving for its turn. When you move the sphere, you can direct it over barriers up to 5 feet tall and jump it across pits 10 feet wide. The sphere ignites flammable objects not worn or carried and sheds bright light in 24. This is probably going to go situational. Yeah, this is definitely going to go situational. Better wager guess. At least for me, anyways. I feel like situation wise, especially for Flame Spirit, especially since you can move it and have some stuff with it, it's definitely situational. Ooh, the spell I saw a couple of days ago, and I really wanted to know what's going on with it, and now I get to know what's going on with it, and know what. I asked the question, why aren't we using this spell wizard in our party? All right, you're a blade dancer. I joke, I kid, and I joke about everything that I say about my party. I love them. You temporarily summon 3 familiar spirits that take animal forms of your choice. Each familiar has the same rules and options as familiar conjured by Find Familiar spell. All familiars conjured by this spell must be the same type of creature, celestial, fairy, fiends of your choice. If you are a familiar conjured by the Find Familiar spell or similar means, they're in one fewer familiars are conjured by this spell. Okay, so that's a pretty good downside. Familiar summoned by the spell can telepathically communicate with you and share their visual and audio sensors with you for 1 minute. When you cast this spell with a range of touch, one of the familiars conjured by this spell can deliver the spell as a normal. However, you can cast a touch spell through only one familiar at a time. Okay, so you can basically cast a range. Have I read that right? It's a spell that with a range of touch, one familiar is conjured by this spell can deliver the spell as a normal. Okay. I really wish we had listened to a better session, or at least we could have ironed out a lot more kinks in our party. To the situational flock it goes, because I don't know what else I'm working with. All right, Fortune's favor. You impart latent luck to yourself for one willing creature you see within range. When the chosen creature makes an attack roll or ability check or a saving throw before the spell ends, it can dismiss this spell on itself or roll an additional d20 and choose which d20 you use. Alternatively, when the attack roll is made against the chosen creature, it can dismiss the spell itself, umbrella d20, and choose which of the d20s to use. The one it rolled or the one the attacker rolled? If the original d20 has advantage or disadvantage, the creature rolls an additional d20 after a disadvantage has been applied to the original roll. Okay. Situational. This is just based off of what I've. This is based off of what I've read off this spell. I've never used this spell. Oh, actually, that makes sense why none of this spell hasn't been used at all because it's only for like 2 wizards. It's still situational based on the 2 wizards then, because other than that, I don't know what to do with that. Gentle repose. You touch a corpse or other remains for the duration the target is protected from decay and can't become undead. The spell also has exceeded time limits on raising a target from the dead since stays spent under the influence of the spell don't count against the time limit of spells such as raise dead. You know, it would have been great to put on my roommate's old character, except for the fact we're probably gonna have to send it back to the grave because somebody revived it. Well, someone revived him, but then he's not himself. Gentle repose. If you're going for like, if you're trying to keep your party alive and make sure that like, how long does this last? 10 days. So you get like 10 extra days to kind of get stuff back. At higher levels, this is definitely God tier because this definitely saves you from like having to go back to your character, having to create a new character if you can get all this stuff for like 10 days. Gift of Gabe. Jim Dark Magic is said to have invented the spell. Originally was called as what I say what. Have you ever been to a local monarch and accidentally mentioned how their son looked like your favorite hog when you're growing up in the family farm? Okay, we're just gonna skip the. When you cast a spell, you skillfully reshape the memories of a listener in your immediate area, so each creature of your choice within 5 feet forgets everything you said in the last 6 seconds. The creature then remembers you actually These creatures then remember that you actually said the words you speak as verbal components for the spell. What? These creatures then remember that you actually said the words you speak as the verbal. Oh, wait, yeah. So, okay, so I think I get it. But it only works for 6 seconds. So that's kind of a mess spell because that's not going to really get you out of a lot of trouble. Gust of wind. A strong wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blasts from you in a direction you choose as the spell's duration. Each creature that starts its turn in the line must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away and you that is direction pushed the line. Any creature in the line must spend 2 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves when moving closer to you. The gust dissipates gas or vapor, extinguishes candles, torches, or similar unprotected flames in the area. It causes protected flames such as those in lanterns to dance wildly and has a 50% chance to extinguish them. As a bonus action, before spell ends, you can change the direction of where the line blasts from you. Oh. Not a bad spell. Not a bad spell at all. Probably gonna put this under. I probably just put this under situation. It doesn't really do. Yeah, no, situational. Actually, no, maybe I put that under roleplay. Actually, no, it's gonna be situational because it's a combination of roleplay and could be used for battle stuff. So it definitely works out very well. I just don't. All right. Healing Spirit. Hooray, the spell I hate the most. Or is it a different spell? Or no. You call forth a nature spirit to soothe the wounded creature that appears in space within the 5 foot cube. Soothe the spirit. Until the spell ends, whenever you or a creature you see move into the spirit space, the first time or starts its turn there, You can cause the spirit to restore 1d6 to points to that creature. No action required. The spirit can't heal constructs or undead. The spirit can heal up a number of times equal to 1 plus your spellcasting modifier. Move them twice. After healing a number of times, the spirit disappears. A bonus action turn, you can move the spirit 30 feet to a space you see. Actually, you know what? This is actually pretty godlike because, again, it has that clause of start its turn there. Well, enter the area or start its turn there, which means during your bonus action, if say your one of your player characters really needed it, it's only one whenever your creature you see move. Oh, it's whenever. Okay, so it's different things. So you can move it back, so they're out of it, and then you can move it forward, and then you can reheal them again. Basically, giving them 2 heals depending on if your turn is more heals if your turn's next, which is pretty good. Although I kind of wish it was more of a D6. Oh wait, because you get to cast it higher levels. Does that? I feel like D6 probably heat metal. Oh, no, healing spirit's up next. Wait, that's healing spirit. Just heat metal. I don't have to describe this. I know where this is going. Beep. Heat metal's going in god tier. You want to know why it's going in god tier? Because say your opponent's wearing like really heavy armor and they is wearing an object takes damage from creature must succeed a constitution save or drop the object can. Oh yeah, so basically if your opponent's wearing heavy armor, they are they are pretty much not going to have fun because it takes a while to take off heavy armor and they're not going to want to do that mid combat. Actually, no, they kind of can't do that mid combat because it's kind of hard to take off heavy armor in mid combat. So heat metal does like 2d, I believe. Oh, that's healing spirit. I'm looking at heat metal. Yes, 2d8 fire, and then does like an extra d8 if you cast it at higher spell level, which is pretty good if you ask me. So yeah, heat metal's definitely going to go to god tier. All right, hold person. Choose a human you see within range. This target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, be paralyzed for the duration. And at the end of its turns, it gets to make another wisdom saving throw to see if it breaks the concentration, breaks away from it, which I probably need. I hope we're getting to level 5 right now. I hope we're getting to level 6 after this ridiculousness. Then I can probably grab this spell and prep it for in case my roommate's other character decides to go punching guards in the face because he can. So I'm gonna put this in your situation because you can also probably use this in combat because you are holding a person in place. So you will be making sure that they are not going anywhere, and that's usually a good thing. Immovable object. The best way I can say this is basically like Thor's hammer almost. You touch an object that weighs no more than 10 pounds, causes it to become magically fixed in place. You and the creature designate when you cast a spell and move the object normally. Causes it to pass through the in the air. It can hold up to 4,000 pounds of weight. The more weight, it causes the object to fall. Otherwise, a creature can use its action to make a strength against your spell save DC. On success, the creature can move the object up to 10 feet. It's still an okay spell. I don't think a whole lot of people actually even use movable object. I could be wrong though. I could just be playing with the interesting group of people who don't want to use this spell. And that's probably why, because it's wizard chronography and wizard gravity. Invisibility. A creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible. The spell ends if the target makes an attack. Actually, I'm going to put this as this is a situational spell because you can either make it a roleplay spell or you can make it a combat spell in order for, say, the person you cast it on's a rogue and they need that sneak attack. And yeah, so it can be used like that. Granted, am I going to, as a cleric, am I going to use this spell? Probably not. I can't think I can. Nope, I can't even learn it, so it doesn't even matter. Jim's glowing coin. Just tell me what the spell does. When you cast a spell, you hurl a coin into the spell's material components in a spot. In the range, the coin lights up as if you are under the weight of the slight spell. Each creature you see within range within 30 feet of the coin must succeed wisdom saving throw and be distracted for the duration. When distracted creatures that's a really meh spell. I mean, it could probably be used very situational, but that's very meh in my opinion. I don't think I don't think it has any like course anything and it can only be used by like a fighter, a rogue, and a wizard, so it's kind of meh. Actually, yeah, that's super meh. I don't even know why that's even a spell. There was no reason for that spell. All right, kinetic jaunt. I almost read that. I read that wrong because I'm not wearing my glasses. My glasses back on. You magically empower your movement with dance-like steps, giving yourself the following benefits. Your walking speed is increased by 10. You don't provoke attack of opportunity attacks. You can move through space when a creature doesn't because of clearing. If you on your turn in the creature space, you are shunted to the last unoccupied space occupied, and you take 1d8 force damage. You know, that's not a terrible drawback. That's not a terrible drawback. So probably God tier. The kinetic jaunt's just a way to basically say, yeah, don't do this. Yeah, the fine part of that's just to say, don't do that. Knock. Choose an object you see within range. The object can be a door. Target is held shut by. Okay. I don't think I haven't put anything in roleplay in a while. So this is a roleplay spell. For sure, this is a roleplay spell. Unless this says you can do something else with it. No, this is definitely a roleplay spell because you are basically giving away your position if this is what you're going to be used for like a sneak thing. Because apparently people can hear this from 300 feet away, which is kind of ridiculous. Lesser restoration. You touch a creature and end its disease in a condition. Affecting it, the condition must be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. Alright, so I'm going to put this in God tier because this is one of these spells. If you are basically playing the support of the group, you're probably going to want that spell, although I haven't really used that spell because my build's a little bit differently and it's weird. Yeah, it's a little weird spell. I'm not entirely worried about it in its entirety, but for the most part, it's definitely one of those spells you have to really be careful with. Actually, no, you just gotta really know like your spell stuff. That's your status effect stuff. So that's pretty much what that with that. Levitate. One creature or loose object of your choice that you see within range rises up vertically up to 20 feet and remains suspended there for the duration. The spell can levitate up target that weighs up to 500 pounds. An unworthy creature must succeed a Constitution saving throw and is unaffected. Oh, that succeeds a Constitution saving throw is unaffected. Target you can move only by pushing or pulling against a fixed object or surface when in reach, such as an wall or ceiling, which allows it to move as if it were climbing. You can change the target's altitude up to 20 feet in either direction for your turn. If you are the target, you can move up and down as part of your move. Otherwise, you can use your action to move the target, which must remain within the spell's range. The spell ends when the target floats gently to the ground, or if it is. Oh, when the spell ends, the target floats gently to the ground. Okay, that's okay. I mean, that's an okay spell. I mean, you can do a lot of different things in terms of flying. I feel like higher levels there's probably a better. Oh, right, yeah, because you learn the fly spell at later. I think it's level 5. I'll have to look that up when we're done. I'm going to forget that. So, someone in chat, write that down and don't let me forget that. Yeah, never let me forget that. Alright, levitate. Locate animal or plants. Describing or Describe or name a specific kind of beast or plant. Concentrate on the voice in nature surrounds you. You learn the direction and distance closest to the creature or plant within 5 miles, if any are present. That's situationally. If well, to be fair, it's also kind of a mass spell. Of course, to be fair, I haven't played a bard. I haven't played a. I actually have played a druid. I just haven't played it in a campaign, and I kind of want to play one in a campaign. I think it'd be fun to play a druid in a campaign. Now, as to what type of druid I would play, I have no idea. There are so many different types of druids that honestly, I don't even know which one I would play, even if I narrowed it down. All right. Locate object. Describe or name or object. The object can locate specific object that is known to you as long as you see it up close and 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon. The spell can't locate any object that's list of its thickness of lead. Can't locate any object of any thickness or lead, or even a thin sheet metal blocks a direct path. Um. Okay, so I know how to get. This is roleplay for sure because you're using this to locate an object. But you can also cheat this spell and then basically like, hey, I just want to look for like a box of lead in this person's home. Because, robbers are probably going to be looking for their special jewels, their special valuables, all that fun stuff. So, what's a great way to figure out if someone has some valuables in their home? Use locate object and use it to locate some lead boxes. Or just lead in general. I believe that would work better. I think that, but also that will depend on that would depend on the DM if I'm being honest. Actually, yeah, that would depend on the DM because they would have to flavor it. Yeah, they would have to flavor that to make that better. All right, magic mouth. Ah, this is a howler, and I can already hate this. You plant a message within an object within range. A message that's under where trigger condition is met. Choose an object you can see that isn't being worn or carried by another person, creature, then speak the message. It must be 24 words or less. Though it can be delivered as long as it's over 10 minutes. Finally, determine the circumstance that would trigger the spell to deliver your message. All right, thanks you for stopping by, Zuoshi. Thank you for lurking. Have a wonderful rest of your day. When that circumstance occurs, your magical mouth appears on an object and recites the message in your voice at the same volume you spoke. If the object you choose has a mouth or something that looks like a mouth, for example, we're getting into some Scarlet Witch territory, and I'm gonna say it's an okay spell. Cause we learn message at level. Do I have I don't have message on any of my characters. Actually, I think I do have message on one of my characters, but that's because I didn't know how clerics work at the time. Where's Nezath? That's cute. My level 1 range? Oh, right. I made rangers for something. That's right. Yep, because I followed that spell. Yeah, I had way too many spells. Let's restoration, player healing. That's level 2 spells. What? Did I not have that? I still have way too many spells. Or did I adjust that once I figured out how clerics worked? I think I adjusted that based when I figured out how clerics work. Actually, hold on. We can look that up. I would just need to do that in another browser source because I don't want to have to do this here. Because this one doesn't like it when I do that. All right. I'm looking for the. Oh yeah. Boop. I'm gonna put that search there, and that's gonna help me. D&D 5e backspace message. Oh, that's a cantrip. Okay, so we have messages as a cantrip. What am I thinking? Oh, sending. I'm probably thinking of sending then. What level is sending? It doesn't tell me on here. Does it tell me on this one level it is? Third level evocation. Okay, so there's a third. That's a third level spell that I'm thinking of then. That's got to be it then. I must be thinking of that then, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. All right, so it's the level 3 spell. All right, magic weapon. Which, if you're it's just a magic weapon, I think it's not a magical weapon until the spell ends. Becomes a magic weapon with a one. That's just a that's an okay spell. Actually, no, it's an okay spell. It's not meh. It's an okay spell because you can probably get some magic damage off because somebody's probably going to be unaffected by magic at like early levels, and it's going to tick you off. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of spiritual weapon. Am I thinking spiritual weapon? Is that on here? I think it's on here because that should be a level 2 spell. Yeah, okay, it is. It is on here. It's spiritual weapon. That's what I'm thinking of. All right, we are on Maximilian's Earthen Grasp. You choose right. Yep, Maximilian's Earthen Grasp. You choose a square with 5 foot square unoccupied space in the ground. You see within range a medium hand made from the compact, so it rises out from one creature you see within 5 feet of it. The target must succeed a strength saving throw. On a failed save, this target takes 2d6 bludgeoning and is restrained during the spell's reaction. As an action, you can cause the hand to crush the restrained target who must make a strength saving throw. Actually, that should say another strength saving throw. And take 2d6 from the on a failed and half as much on a successful one. To break out, the restrained target can use its action to make a strength check against your spell save DC. On a success, the target escapes and is no longer restrained by the hand's action. You can cause the hand to reach a different target. Okay, so that's definitely very situational. I say that because again, you could restrain a good target, or you could go. It could break out, and then you'd have to restrain another target. Plus, doing 2c6 damage almost every turn if it fails a strength saving throw is pretty good. It's pretty good damage control, so I'm okay with that. Melf's Acid Arrow. A shining green arrow streaks toward a target within range and bursts in a spray of acid. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 4d4 acid damage and immediately takes 2d4 at the end of the start next turn. On a miss, the target splashes on the target with acid half as much. Okay, I'm gonna just put this under God tier because you just have to hit. You have to cast it and then make the attack, which you are wasting a turn to do so. Yeah, you are kind of wasting your turn to do so, but at the same time, that's going to be pretty good the next time you do that, because 2d4 is not that terrible of damage, but it does mean a long while, and it does do a lot in the long run. Mind Spike. You reach into the mind of one creature you see within range. Target must make a wisdom saving throw, taking 3d8 on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Let's have 60 feet. You always know where the target's location until the spell ends, but only while the two of you are in the same plane of existence. When you know this knowledge, the target can't become hidden or from you. It's invisible against no benefits from the conditions against you. Okay. That's pretty. That's very. I'm gonna put Mind Spike under situational because that could be helpful in the long run. That could be a good roleplay spell in the long run. Plus, a lot good psychic damage is pretty good. All right. Mirror image. I already know where this one's going because it can save things. Now, if only it was actually you can do is oh yeah, clerics of trickery can learn this. I just kind of wish clerics normally could learn this. This would be a great spell to keep people, to keep clerics alive, and I would be. I know I would be spamming it, but I don't. Not concentration though, is it? It's not concentration. Perfect. Maybe I should come. Maybe I should do a trickery cleric one of these turns to just see like how many fun spells I can get at a certain level. Although I kind of should wait and to see how this campaign's gonna go and see if it's gonna end or if we're gonna do something else with it. Although I kind of feel like we're gonna do a first arc, do a little bit of a break, and then we're gonna do something else with it. I don't know what we're doing with it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing with it, if I'm being honest. It seems kind of like it's going somewhere, but at the same time, we don't know where it's going. So it's one of those weird things we don't know what's going on, and we're just quite sure. Or unsure where it's going to go in the long run. But, anyways, mirror image. Essentially, this one is you get four. You get four, three. You get three duplicates. A duplicate's AC is plus your dexterity modifier. Attack a duplicate. Duplicate's destroyed. There's all other damage effects. The spell. Okay, yeah. It's still god tier because it keeps you alive from, say, melee attacks or. Does it just say melee? Duplicates is destroyed. Attack is destroyed only by attack it hits. Ignores all other damage. Alright, duplicates you roll a 6 or higher, change the targets to a duplicate. With two duplicates, you must roll an 8 or higher. One duplicate, you must roll 11 or higher. Well, to be fair, I feel like you're just going to recast the spell anyways if that happens. Misty Strip. Briefly surrounded by Misty teleport to 30 feet in an big space you see. Basically, it's a free teleportation, and that's god tier. Because all you got to do is just find a spot that's not occupied, so it all kind of works out in the end. Moonbeam. I think this is situational because I use this as a Twilight cleric, which is funny because this is technically a druid spell. Silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Until the spell ends, dim light fills the cylinder. When a creature enters the spell area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it is engulfed in a ghostly flame that causes searing pain. Must make a Constitution saving throw and takes 2d10 radiant damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. A shape changer makes its saving throw with disadvantage. If it fails, it instantly reverts to its original form and can't resume a different one until the spell ends. And your turn, you can move it. So I'm going to put this under situational because of the Constitution saving throw. Because it's half as much damage. Which at that point, it's still like, yeah, you do half as much damage. So it basically depends on like what you roll on the dice out of the 2d10s, and if they pass your spell save DC. Which if this is a level 2 spell, it's probably not going to be very high, but depends on like again depends on who on what you're doing, depends on who you're playing, and depends if your DM actually puts you at level 3 or not, because then you get to plan a little bit around that. Or you could be at level 1 and work your way up and get the spell. Either way, it all kind of works out. It's kind of the fun of D&D. You get to learn how things work. Alright, now starts Mischief. You roll a 20... You fill a 20-foot cube you see within range with Fey and Draconic magic. Roll on the Mischief Surge table to determine the magic effect profounded and roll again at the start of your turns until the spell ends. You can move the cube up to 10 feet before you roll. Mischief serve D4 effect when the smell of apple pie fills the air. Why apple pie? But okay. Bouquets of flowers appear all around, and each creature in the cube must succeed its dexterity saving throw or be blind until the start of next turn. Each creature in the cube must be see was a saving throw. Why is this a spell? This is a very interesting spell. All right, I'm still putting this in a situation because this could probably save you. Plus, although you have to, don't you roll the d4 at the start of each of your turns? Yeah, really getting the start each your turn. So you can get a different effect each turn. Oh my goodness. That's definitely situational. That's also like almost god tier though, just because of that alone. Holy crap. New stills magic aura. You place an illusion on a creature or an object that you touch so that divination spells reveal false information about it. The target can be a willing creature or an object that isn't being carried one by another creature. And you cast a spell, choose one or both of the following effects. The effects last for the duration. If you cast a spell on the same creature or object every day for 30 days, placing it under the same effect each time the illusion lasts until it is dispelled. That's kind of ridiculous, but also that's kind of interesting that you're casting this spell 30 times. False aura. You when the target appears to spell. Doesn't magical effects. Doesn't detect magic. The detect magic auras. You can make non-magical object appear magical, magical object appear non-magical. Change the object magical aura so that it appears to belong to a specific school. Ooh. Appears in the spell magic. Okay. So yeah, false aura, which basically gives it a false look in order to make it seem like it's not really all that special. Interesting. Definitely interesting take on a definitely interesting spell. Whether or not I would, I wouldn't. I actually don't even know where I would put this if I'm being honest. Like this is something I'm gonna have to like do. Actually, what spell would the? Oh, it's fight a rogue and wizard. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wizards would know how to use that because that's kind of ridiculous. That's kind of interesting. All right. Do 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 do. Where would it go? I don't know. I'd say it's an okay spell. I'm not really that. I don't think I really play characters that would try to hide a spells thing. Plus, that's a waste of a little 2 slot unless you're casting that before you go to bed. So that way you can get the long rest. You can get your spell slots back for a long rest or meditation. Because elves are ridiculously broken for clerics. Or any spellcaster, really, because you get to get your stuff right back. Pass without trace. Viola, shadows, and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions for detection. Ooh, which companion choosing 3 feet because of 10 points dexterity stealth can't be tracked with magical means. I want to say roleplay, but I'm putting this as god tier. This is a druid ranger spell, trickery druid grassland monk shadow. Oh yeah, that's right. Shadow monks do learn that, but at the cost of 2 sorcery point. Or no, two key points. Which is kind of ridiculous because it doesn't at low levels shadow monks are kind of useless. I should know. I wanted to play a shadow monk and then I played it. And then it's like, this is so cool, but I can't use any of these abilities because we were like level 4 and it's like, great, there goes half my key points that I'd rather be using on punching people. Hooray. I've already marked. Yes, battery. Phantasmal Force. You cast an illusion that root in the mind of a creature that you see within range. The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On failed save, you create the phantasmal object, creature visible or visible. The target treats the phantasm as real. I'm gonna put that under situational because that's a long wall of text right there. Mostly because it's like that's gonna be kind of hard to kind of do anything with. Are you? Wow, you're like almost there. And yes, I have 2 pyrotechnics. For some reason, 2 pyrotechnics were made when or like somehow it slipped in. Unless for some reason I missed a spell, which is probably more than likely. Yeah, but we'll figure that out at the end. We're probably just gonna have like one extra pyrotechnics for like no reason, and I don't think this allows me to edit it any more than I already have because I can't. I don't know how to remove things. I can only add things, which is why I had to restart certain things over and over. I had to restart the first level tier list all over again because we had the cantrip one, but I had to restart that one. Ugh, prayer of healing. Why does it have to take like 10 minutes? It's situational. Mostly because of the casting time, because you can choose 6 creatures and you get to roll up to 2d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. And they get that amount of shit. And they get that amount of health back. So but it's a 10-minute casting timer, and I hated that when I found that. I'm like, yes, I'll be able to heal you guys. It's got a 10-minute timer. I'm like, oh, then I played this spell wrong. Oh, protection from poison. You touch a creature. If it's poison, you neutralize the poison. If more than one poison affects the creature, you neutralize one poison that you know is present, or you neutralize one at random. Creature target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned if it has resistance to poison damage. Situational because again, you have to know like your poisons. Yeah, you'd have to know how a person's being poisoned, how a person is reacting, how a person is. That's pretty much everything that goes along with that. And my app reset itself, so now I gotta scroll all the way down to here we go. Pyrotechnics. That's because that's the next one, right? Yes, pyrotechnics. Almost there. Almost done. Almost free, and then maybe I'll go to bed. Maybe I'll go to bed. Maybe I won't. I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. I will figure that all out when I get to that. Choose an area of flame that you see and that can you can see and that can fit grammar. You extinguish the fire when area or create either fireworks or smoke when you do so. Fireworks, explosions. Okay, so basically you're creating. It's actually this is a roleplay spell because you can probably use that. You can probably use that as like a distraction, or you could just use that as a great like celebratory thing. Since fireworks, actually no, depends on how the setting of the D&D world that your DM creates it. It certainly becomes something. And my app reset itself again. Ray of Embezzlement, a black beam of enervating energy springs from your fingers towards a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target deals only half damage with a weapon not used with strength. Each of your turn must make a constitution saving throw against the spell. Okay, that's. It's an okay spell, if I'm being honest. Oh, wait, no, cleric, death, cleric. Yeah, it's an okay spell because. Eh. But also at the same time, though. Wait, does it? On a hit, deals only half damage with weapon attacks that use strength into the spell ends. It's a shame I can't learn this spell because I feel like I know how we're going to make this work. At least how I would make this work. Although, to be fair, it doesn't really matter that much because I have my own fun tricks to do. But it's still a mess spell, and this reset again. I don't understand why he keeps doing this. Rhymes Binding Ice. A burst of cold energy emanates from you in a 30-foot cone. Each creature that in that area must make a constitution saving throw on a failed save. A creature takes 3d Cold damage is hindered by ice formations for 1 minute, or until another creature within its reach uses its action to break away the ice. Creature is hindered by the ice and is reduced speed reduced to 0. Just half as much and isn't hindered by ice. All right, so this is situational because again, it's the saving throw. If they don't pass it, they got extra goodies. If they do pass it, it's just the way it goes. You're not really gonna get a whole lot out of it, but at least you're gonna get 3d8 cold damage out of it. Rope trick. You touch the length of rope, which is 60 feet long. One end of the rope rises in the air until the whole rope halings perpendicular ground. An invisible entrance opens up to an extra dimensional space that leads into the spell ends. The extra dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. The space can hold as many as 8 medium creatures. Yeah, 8 medium creatures or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the area disappear visible from the space. Attack rolls and spells can't pass through the entrance. Explosion pace. Anything inside the extra space drops when the spell ends. How long does the spell end? 1 hour. Okay. God tier. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. I want you to go here. Yeah, rope trick. It's pretty much an easy escape plan too. Also, wait, wizard. Wait. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't have worked because he got paralyzed. So unless like, but then it only lasts an hour, so that really wouldn't have helped. Okay, yeah, no, I take back what I said. I thought about it, and I realized it wasn't going to work. So I'm going to move on. Scorching Ray. You create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range. You can roll one at one target or several. Make range spell attacks on each target. Takes 2d6 fire damage. Well, you have to hit it, but it's still pretty god tier because that's just the only thing. That's the only stipulation is that you're at the mercy of your dice at that point. So it's god tier for Scorching Ray. See invisibility. I don't feel like I need to explain what see invisibility does because it's basically within the spell. You're basically seeing an invisible person, and I believe you get to see. Yeah, you get to see into the ethereal planes. This makes this a situational spell because who knows, you might be facing phase spiders, and you might need to see where certain things are in order to figure it all out. That kind of fun jazz. Otherwise, it's not going to really matter a whole lot after that. All right, Shadow Blade. You weave together threads of shadow to create a sword of solidified gloom in your hand. This magic sword lasts until the spell ends. It counts as a simple melee weapon, which you are proficient with. It deals 2d6 psychic damage on a hit. It has finesse, light, and thrown properties. In addition, when you use this sword or attack a target in dim light, you can make an attack with advantage. If you drop the weapon or throw it, it dissipates at the end of its turn. Therefore, while the spell persists, you can use the most action calls. Oh, okay. So this is what our wizard was doing. So I'm going to slap this under situational. This is very good. And psychic damage is probably one of the few resistances that you don't see very often. Actually, it's a rare resistance thing to ever see, if I'm being honest. You never really see that a Shadow Blade resistance. Shatter. I know what this. Yeah. Each creature's 10-foot radius and sphere sound makes a constitution saving throw. Creature takes 3d8 damage on a failed save. But 3d8 thunder damage. I don't really see thunder damage a whole lot, but again, Constitution saving throw for the thunder damage, and they can take half as much. Creature made of inorganic material such as stone or crystal has disadvantage on the saving throw. Non-magical object isn't being worn or carried also takes damage if it's in the area. Oh yeah, because That's very okay. Then we have oh, let's shutter again. God damn it, reset. We're almost at the end here. Silence. The duration, no sound created. Actually, no, I don't even need to describe this. So basically, you're just creating a 20-foot radius sphere of nothing. So God tier, especially if you want to get rid of like a spellcaster that's using a lot of verbal components. Really kind of hoping when I get to use this spell at the next session, well, the next main story session, I should say, that I'll be able to actually cast it and it won't get counterspelled. Counterspell is like the worst thing about this. So it's just one of those weird things. It's definitely a fun spell to have, don't get me wrong. Skywrite. You can use it to 10 words to form in a part of the sky. You see these words appear being a cloud. Okay. Considering I don't use this spell. Oh, it's for Artificer, Bard, Druid Fighter, Rogue, and Wizard. It's a meh spell. It's a meh spell for me, mostly because it's like, unless you're trying to just make it like a. Actually, no, it's just a meh spell. I don't really want to explain why it's meh. It's just meh. Go back to that. Okay. Silk Snowball Swarm. A failure of magic snowballs erupts from a point you choose in range. Each creature in a 5-foot radius sphere centered at the point must make a dexterity saving throw. Creature takes 3 cold 6 on a failed save or half as much on a successful save. Okay. Definitely situational. I almost put this in role playing. If Yeah, I almost put this in role play, but I feel like it's more situational, if only for the fact that again, it's that Constitution saving throw. I feel like for a majority of my stuff, I'm going to say something about the saving throw capabilities of it all. Wait, what? Did I never? What? Did this reset on me? Or are there doubles? Oh, there are double. Why are there doubles? Oh, that's why there's 90 of them. Okay, now I get it now. So we just put snowball. Okay, I fucked up. Okay, I'd have to remake this. So we did this one already. We did this one already. We did this one already. Did this one. Did this one. Okay, that's why there's 90 of them. Okay, okay, so that's a fuck up on my part then. We did that. We did that. Now we are on Spider Climb. Okay, because I thought we already did those. I thought we were already on Spider Climb. Okay, that's my fault. So pretty much, if I were to release this again, I'm gonna have to delete and redo it. I'm gonna have to double check to make sure that that's not like that in the other files. Thankfully, I have all the files. Oh yeah, I wonder if I accidentally copy and pasted it twice and didn't realize it. That'd be it. Spider climb. Basically for spider climb, you basically get the ability to climb like a spider. You could climb up, down, across vertical surfaces, upside down along ceilings while leaving its hands free. The target also gains climbing speed. This is God tier because you can pretty much do everything like that. Especially if you play a beast barbarian, because then you get to spider climb naturally. So it all kind of works out that way. Spike growth. And that reset. Thanks, app. The ground in a 20-foot radius centered on a point within range twists and sprouts out hard spikes. They are become signature terrain when a creature moves in within artist's area. Takes 2d4 piercing damage every 5 feet it travels. Okay, it doesn't have a Constitution saving throw. It doesn't have a problem with that, and I think this is why it's gonna go into God tier because it's also 150 feet. So you're basic. Wait, no, that's the range. 20-foot radius is where it's going. Yeah, 20-foot radius is where it's going. So yeah, if you make a
good defense position there. You're basically keeping people in there, and it's rough terrain too. So basically, they're moving half movement too. Spiritual weapon. God tier. Spiritual weapon. Basically, you special summon You special summon a weapon. Well, you special summon a deity, a spirit, basically, and you basically get to whack people with it. And then during your bonus action, you get to whack more people with it. Oh, it's only available for clerics? Right on. This is essentially this is the cleric. This is a cleric's secondary like attack if you haven't cast a spell already. So that's basically that. That's why I love spiritual weapon. I pick it every single time. Like I create a cleric. It's always a good spell to have. All right, suggestion. You suggest a course of action limited to a sentence or two and a magically influence a creature you see within range that can hear and understand you. Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this effect. The suggestions must be worded in a manner as much as the course of the blah, 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 blah. Target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it pursues the course until. Okay. Suggestion, more or less, you're making a suggestion. It's going to be situational, if I'm being honest. Summon beast. You call forth a bestial. Oh gosh. Well, spirit. It manifests and occupies space within range. As corporeal forms, uses bestial spirit stat block. See bottom. Just to really say see below, because we may have a bottom in chat that might have some problems. I don't know. When you cast a spell, choose environment, air, land, water. The creature resembles an animal of your choice that is native to the chosen environment, which determines the center of its stat block. Okay, so it's safe initiative count, blah, 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 blah. It's not very. Okay. It's not very strong, though. It's going to matter because the AC is going to be the same. Oh, yeah, AC's. Oh, yeah, AC's going to be the same. It's going to be. Okay, situational spell, because you might need that for something, and you might end up not needing it for anything else, so. That kind of works out. Tasha's Mind Whip. You psychically lash out at one creature you see within range. The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 3d6 psychic damage. And it can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn. Moreover, on its next turn, it must choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus action. It only gets one of the three. On a successful save, the target takes half as much and suffers none of the spell's after effects. Then situational goes because of that wisdom, constitution. Intelligence saving throw. Intelligence saving throw, which should be interesting because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of creatures that have intelligence saving. That not. Oh, I don't think I moved it yet. Wait, what happened to Vortex? Oh, that's where Vortex Warp went. You magically twist the space around a creature you see within range. The target must succeed a Constitution saving throw. Choose to fail on attacks to occupy space of your choice you see within range. The truce must be on a surface or liquid that can support the target without it falling or needing to squeeze. Actually, yeah, that probably is still gonna go into situational because you could probably move. Yeah, you can probably use this spell to move people around quickly on the battlefield, so that definitely works. Although I don't know why artificers are getting it, because artificers don't get a good lot of spells when they're at higher levels, so it doesn't really matter in the long run. Warding Bond. The spell wards a willing creature you touch and miss a connection. While the target is 60 feet, you gains +1 to AC and saving throws and has resistance to all damage. Also you take the same amount of damage, so I'm gonna say that's an okay spell. I would say that situational spell, but like that's an okay spell considering how low it is. I feel like if you pick this at a higher level spell where you had more health, this probably would go up a little bit more. But since that's not the case, this is not what's going to happen. Warding wind. A strong wind blows around you in a 10-foot radius and moves with you. The remaining means center underneath the wind lasts until the spell's duration. The wind has the following effect: it deafens you and other creatures in the area. It extinguishes unprotected flames in the area that are torch or smaller. It hedges out vapor, gas, and fog and can be dispersed by strong wind. The area is difficult terrain for other creatures. The new attack rolls of ranged weapons have disadvantage. Situational you go. Cause well yeah, it just this spell feels very situational. And I don't really think that it matters a whole lot that the spell itself is, although I am learning about the spell itself. So this is very, a good majority of these spells are very new to me. So yeah. Web. You conjure a massive web of your choice in the range. The web fills a 20-foot cube. From the point of duration, the webs are difficult terrain. The webs are anchored between two solid masses, such as wall or trees, or layered across the floor or ceiling. The conjured web collapses on itself. The spell ends at the start of your next turn. Web layer on a flat surface has each creature with the start of its turn webs saving throw on field, so the creature is restrained as long as it remains in the webs or until it breaks free. Because you're restrained by the webs are flammable. Any 5-foot cube of web exposed to fire burns during 2d4 fire damage. Any creature starts turn there. Situational again, because it could. I wanted to see it's something okay. Situational, because you probably could use web to kind of like. Again, you could probably combo it to go with one of the. I think it's. Yeah, it's one of the other spells in God tier. I can't remember which one it is, but I feel like it definitely like combos off. It could combo off of that for sure. But wait, no, it ends after one. Uh, Earlier across the floor, seeing the conjure web collapse on itself and the spell ends at the start. Oh, I get it. So if it isn't anchored between two solid masses, just layer between. Okay, if it isn't anchored or layered, okay, that makes sense. Wither and bloom. I feel like this one doesn't really get used a whole lot. You invoke both life and death on a 10-foot radius sphere. Each creature of your choice in the area must make a Constitution save, or take 2d6 necrotic on a failed save, or half as much. Non-magical vegetation in the area withers. In addition, one creature of your choice can spend and roll one of its unspent hit die and regain the number of hit points plus your ability modifier. Ooh. That's still a situational spell, though, because what if your party doesn't want to use their hit die and whatnot? But, that's up to them. All right, last two spells, and then we're going to call it tonight. And, of course, the app has to reset itself. All right. Wrist pocket. You flick your wrist and cause one object in your hand to vanish. The object, which only you can be holding in weight no more than 5 times, transport to exponential space. Till the spell ends, you can use it to call your as an. What? That's literally it. That's a meh spell. That's so meh. All right, and then Zone of Truth, the final spell. See, 2 hours, 2 hours tops. Like I knew that was gonna happen. You create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice in the range. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell area for the first time or starts, and they must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't speak deliberately while it lies within the radius. You know whether the creature succeeds or fails the saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which normally respond a lethal lie. Okay, then this is also very situational as well, because you could probably. Actually, no, this would be more role play than situational. Because say you're trying to interrogate somebody and you want to try to figure out information off of them. So it all kind of works out in the end. And whether or not it's used or not, obviously this. Okay, obviously I feel like I kind of blew through these really quickly just because I really wanted to get through these all. I'm going to do a little bit better next time, but also I'm probably going to try to make sure I'm not extremely and or tired as much as I was during the first little. Oh no, yeah, through like the first little bit of it all. So we're just going to kind of go through that as we go. All right, so I'm going to switch over to just chatting screen real quick, and then we'll go from there. All right, now to find somebody to raid because I don't really got anything else planned tonight, and that tier list took a lot. It was very quick. We got through that a lot. 85 spells is not a whole lot to get through, and that is 85 spells is not a whole lot to get through, and we got through those relatively quickly. Who do we want to go to? No, I haven't rated this person in a while. You know what? Yeah, we'll go read Space Voyager. They're a good lad. Copy. Bloop. Yeah, we'll go read Space Voyager. They're a good lad. They're a very good lad. Ray bloop. Dude. Yeah, no, they're a very good lad. And then but yeah, no, for tomorrow, we are going to be playing some more Dragon Age. I do not know if it's going to be the end of the Dragon Age. I also don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be end of Dragon Age or if it's going to be the finishing. I feel like I'm going to be finishing off a couple more side quests. At least to make it. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to. I'm multitasking here. But yeah. There we go. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like we're gonna get to the end of Dragon Age Origins soon, and then we got to figure out another thing to do with that. I might move. Actually, yeah, I'm probably gonna end up moving Saturday streams to Sundays, just to kind of give myself some time to breathe and whatnot, and we'll go from there. Or I might not do 3 days. I might switch it to. I might still go back to 3 days streaming, and we'll go from there. I don't know yet. I feel like 4 days. I've been doing like what 4 days the last couple weeks. It's kind of streaming by myself. So we'll have some fun, but I'll see y'all later.